Hey guys, welcome back to Top Tipper Betting Tips. I'm going to have the postman tipping out at the Vaal, so I'm going to hand you over to the postman.
Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, no matter where in the world you guys are. And a big warm welcome to the Top Tipper family. Racing comes to us on Tuesday, 25th of April. We're on the Vaal Classic track, 8 races carded. Before we get into the selections, last time we were together, the best bet came home like a good thing should. The value bet unfortunately got scratched. But with regards to exotics, wow, we go and look at some of those results. It's almost impossible. Racing not too bad at the Vaal, one or two, I think, races where we can go lightly. Others we need to load. As I said, 8 races carded. The first is due off at 12:25. We have a maiden plate over 1450 meters. And we go through here, and it looks a match race between horses 8 and 9, both from the Van Vuren yard. One drawn nicely at 3, one drawn wide at 10. If I'm looking for negatives on both of them, none of them have run the distance. Okay, for the smaller punter, if you're taking bipods, 8 and 9 should be sufficient. However, in our bipod, I've taken our first 3 selections, and my narrow first selection is the 8. This is Pontiac Gavilarina for the Van Vuren yard. 2 decent efforts. Again, we on breeding, this one should get the distance of 1450 meters, but at even money, I'm certainly not going to take a chance and banker this one, and this one runs down the chute and sticks us out. For second, I've gone, as I said, for the stable companion, the 9, Viva de Janeiro. A decent first effort, was slow on that occasion, running on really well. Again, I think if Viva de Janeiro was drawn in the top 3 or 4, I would have banked this, but drawn wide like that, I'm certainly not going to take a chance and banker that one drawn so wide. I've put that one to run second. For third, I've gone for the 1 Archimedes, nicely drawn at 1, Muzieni for Philip Labashane. Decent 2 efforts last time out. I'm going to put a line through that. Did finish with a mouth injury, and I certainly think that Archimedes is better than that. In our bipods, guys, we're going to put in the 1, the 8, and the 9. We're going to hope to double up. However, if 8 or 9 run out of the top 2, already half the tickets will be blown. That is why we're going to put 3 horses there. For fourth, we've gone for the 4, Nice Raffia, Big 5, Samanga Kamala for Corbus Roo. Again, this has had 28 chances to break a maiden, and maybe good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. If I'm looking for something, again, to throw in if I'm taking quartets or trifectas, maybe throw the 10 in as well. If this runs third or fourth, can certainly boost your payout. So race 1, 8, 9, 1, and 4. And I'm going to put in the first 3 selections in the bipod. The second race on the card, this is due off at 1300 hours. First leg of our place accumulator, a maiden plate for the girls, to be run over 1450 meters. And again, I don't think this is cut and dry. My narrow first selection is horse 3, Mia Fiore, Craig Zaki for the Hoodalakis yard. This is drawn 1. Again, we go and look at the last run. I think is a lot better than that. Is a third run after rest. And I'm certainly looking for an improved effort. 7-1, I really think that this one may be worth a small place bet, and is my narrow first selection. For second, I have gone for the 10. This is Katira. This is Donald Hertzen for Sean Terry. Not a bad effort last time out. Was running on that occasion. Certainly taking the 2.5 off will not affect this one's chances. If I'm looking for a negative, I've got a 2-year-old filly running against older horses. Smaller punters, if you're taking bipods, 3 and 10. For larger punters, take a smaller percentage, go 3, 10, and maybe even throw the 1 in as well. That is Striker Stradum for the Mike and Adam Azzi yard. a fair effort last time out between Platina Princess. I don't think this one is going to Hollywood, but again, in this field, maybe good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. And for fourth, gone for a nice Raffia, horse 5, Paradise Flower, Ryan Munger for Heather Adamson, nicely drawn at 2. 3 fair efforts, and again, good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. So race 2, 3, 10, 1, and 5. Smaller punters 3 and 10. For those that want to take a smaller percentage and hopefully double up, 3, 10, and 1 in the exotics. Race 3, the first leg of the Pick 6, due off at 13:35, a maiden plate for fillies and mares over 2,000 meters. And again, I think this is quite a tough race, guys. The top of the boards is this horse 3, Broadlands. I think around about even money. I certainly can't have that. I know it will win a maiden sooner or later, but we go through and look, it's been shorter than that and still let the side down. So, all things being equal, my narrow first selection is the horse 1. Turn the beat around about 6-7 to 1. Nathan Kling for Mike de Kock. Did have excuses last time out. The time before that, over 1,600 with Nathan aboard, was running on. And again, in this field, I certainly think that this one round about 6-7 to 1, again, may be worth a small each way touch. I know it is drawn wide. I'm hoping that Nathan jumps and runs on from the back of the field. For second, again, I've gone for horse number 4. This is Queen Britannia. This is at 21 chances to shed a maiden, and still a maiden. Again, she will get her chance. She will shed a maiden. Maybe today's a day. But I certainly won't be punting this one on the nose, but I cannot leave it out exotics. For third, I have gone for the 3 Broadlands. Gav Lorena, as I said, for the Carriard. Nicely drawn at 1. And again, good enough to fill in one of the minor positions. If it wins, I certainly won't be surprised, but I'm certainly not going to have a touch on that. I'd rather take an each way bet on horse 1. For fourth, if you're taking trifectas and quartets, guys, the 8 Coffee in Brazil, Marco van Rensburg for Corbus Roo. Again, 3 fair efforts. I think this will jump. I think will sit handy. And again, as I said, I don't think much is going to Hollywood here, and maybe good enough to stay on for a minor spot. So race 3, 1, 4, 3, and 8. Pick 6s, 1, 3, and 4. I don't think the winner can come from anything else. But again, watch him go down. If the one goes down striding nicely, maybe worth a small each way touch at around about 6 or 7 to 1. Fourth race on the card, Joff at 14:10, maiden plate over 2,000 meters. And going through here, guys, I think this for me is the best bet on the card. Horse number 1, Quantifier. Ant Magutla gets the ride here for Gath van Zyl. Ant is riding really, really well for the yard. A decent effort last time out. We go through and look. Ray did drop the stick. I think hit the front a little too soon. I think this course will suit. I think this will come from just off them, short burst, and I'm hoping Ant gets this one up. 18 to 10, I think is a nice little price. For second, I've gone for horse number 3, Sword of Mercy, Samanga Kamala for Joey Somo. Decent effort last time out. I do think it will reverse a form with the 2 Porto Plata. I think Porto Plata will go to the front. I think drawn wide is not going to assist. I think the extra 200 meters won't help. And I do think that Sword of Mercy will reverse the form. For third, I have gone for the 2 Porto Plata. Smaller punters, maybe take a chance. You've got a banker somewhere, banker the 1. For larger punters, 1 and 3. For fourth, I've thrown in the 4. This is US Open for Lasande Toli for Fani Broncos. Again, fair effort last time out. Over 1,600 meters, and again, maybe good enough for back end of trifectas and quartets. if I go through and I look and we watch a reruns of the 8 Man's Night, 2 very, very bad rides, maybe what we can do for larger perms, throw this one in round about 6 to 1. So race 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. If you're not happy with that, larger perms, throw in the 8 if you're taking exotics or you're taking trifectas and quartets. But I do think 1 is the bet on the card. 5th race on the card, you're off at 14:45, mid rate is 74 handicap, again over 2,000 meters. And in this race, guys, we find my value bet, and horse number 1, Breeze Over, I think is great value at 5 to 1. Last time out was the first run out of the maidens, took on a lot stronger than it met. Here did have excuses, was slow on that occasion, did finish the race off with respiratory noise. And I do think that under the hands of Keegan DeMello, I think certainly will give a good account of itself. For second, I've gone for the obvious choice, the Thule. I think last time out with the weights in its favor was a penalty kick. I don't think it will have it all its own way, but good enough to run second or third. For third, I have gone for Royal Mazarin, Samaga Kamala for the Soma yard. Decent effort last time out behind Future Wolf. I do think Royal Mazarin will set the pace in this race and good enough to stay on to run a drum. For fourth, I've thrown in a bit of a rough year. This is 3 River Romero. I go and look at that, and on weight turnover, I really think it's got the 2 Jet Dynasty Stone Cold with that run to Son of Raj. Due to that, if I'm taking larger perms, if I'm taking a trifecta or quartet, I'm going to throw this River Ramiro in. So rates 5, 1, 7, 8, and 3, and I do think that 1 is a decent each way value bet. 6 race on the card over 15 at 15:20. Merit rate is 7 to 1 handicap for the girls over 2,400 meters. For me, 3 horse race. My first selection is 2 Angel's Wish, Caden Brewer for the Mowing yard. Decent effort last time out behind a Fraud. I think a Fraud is stronger than this field, carrying 57 on her back. I think we'll go very close. For second, we have to throw in horse number 1, Go Flickety. Again, Keegan DeMello for the Gareth van Zyl yard. Keegan won on this one 2 runs back, and I think Go Flickety again, a inclusion in all exotics. For third, I've gone for the 9 Barmaid. I think last time out we included this one in all bets, was touched off. Again, carrying 52, cannot be left out. For fourth, we've gone for the 3, all the way from the USA, Nathan Klink for Tyrone Zaki. Every time I go through this race, it brings me back to this horse number 3. I know we had it when it won its maiden. We had it touch at around about 8 to 1. I think we all made money on this. And I really, larger perms, I'm certainly going to throw this one in as well. However, we have gone 2, 1, 9, and 3, and I'm going to take those numbers and box them for trifectas and quartets. 7th race on the card, you're off at 15:55, mid rate at 98 handicap, over 1,450 meters. Again, I do think this is a match race between horses 1 and 4, and my narrow first selection is the 4, Fast Love, Gav Lorena for Johan Janse van Vuren. Decent effort last time out behind Lord William. I do think this one will jump. I think it will be up there. Distance, 7 runs, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. And I really think that this one will go very, very close. For second, I have gone for the horse 1, Duke of Sussex. Loves this course and distance. For the course, 6 runs, 5 first and a second. I really think that this will go very close, around about 9 to 2, 5 to 1. Smaller punters, 4 and 1. Larger punters, you can throw in the 9 as well at a big price. And that is home of the brave Ryan Munger for Tyrone Zaki. Ryan always rides well for the Zaki yard. We can see he did win his maiden, beating Stinky McPimpy really, really well. This is a third run after rest. Has got a very, very light mass of 52.5. And again, that draw is a big negative, but maybe running on when others have cried enough. For fourth, I've thrown in the horse 2. This is Cabinet Shuffle. Gabriel Peterson for Robin Clarkson. Gabriel did win on this one 3 runs back. Again, what's sitting nice and handy. And again, maybe good enough to fill in one of the minor spots. So race 7, 4, 1, 9 and 2. Smaller punters, 1 and 4 should be sufficient. We move on to the lucky last race 8, due off at 16:30. And this is a mid-rated 81 handicap over 1,450 meters. My first selection is now horse number 2, Miller Hugh. This is Keegan Demella for the Van Furen Yard. And this is second run after a rest. Decent effort last time out, albeit over, I think, something short of its best. And I do think 2 is the right one. For second, I've thrown in horse number 5, Indus Knight. Malasela Kajedi gets the mount here for the Dawson Yard. He did ride at 2 runs back, finishing 3 lengths to Southern Blaze. Did have an excuse on that occasion, and I do think that 5 again should not be left out exotics. For third, I've gone for 1, Tizona. However, guys, I don't know if this is going to run. Just watch for scratchings. I doubt it. If it does, I'm throwing this one in. And then for fourth, I've gone for horse number 12. And this is After Hours, Ryan Munger for St. John Gray. Ryan won on this one last time out. And again, larger perms. I'm going to throw 2, 5, 1 and 12 in all exotics. If the one gets scratched, obviously just 2, 5 and 12. Guys, as I said, we've been having a torrid time with the exotic bets. Some really, really tough races. Really, really unfair on the punters. Just be careful. Patience. We're not going to break the bank in one meeting. Watch them go down, guys. Check for jockey changes. Check for scratchings. And as I said, I don't think Tizona will take its spot on Tuesday. Look after yourself. Take care. Stevie, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, the postman. I see you've tipped a 8-race program. Your bar pot, your PA, your jackpot 1, jackpot 2. So please, Lord, let them arrive for the punters. So guys, all in all, enjoy, have fun, break a leg, and cheers for now.